just realized I had my mic muted this whole time. Oh my freaking lord. I've been talking this whole time. I'm putting all of these in the Discord for everyone. Why does it keep doing that? Well, anyways. I had it muted on my headset and I forgot about it. But I was just banging out to the music, you know. Either way, what I was saying about Plug and Cian is I put him in the Discord. So this thing's been following this channel here. It's got a bull flag into resistance. It looks pretty good. So I'd expect this to, you know, test highs, the mid 60s. We can measure this move out too. We could probably look maybe for banger like in that range, in the 60 to 63 range. So that could be a nice mover this week if we continue. 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're looking at a pretty good impulse count here. So this would be then your corrective count here. So there's your ABC correction on your cool off, and then this could be the start of a new impulse here. So this could be a smaller impulse, something like that, you know. So in terms of like a wave, you'd be looking something in that range. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I met Tay today. That was awesome. So imagine running a company for a year with someone you've never met. Thomas, you're next. Zenon, yeah, we're going to do some requests. I got this small list here. We're just going to get through this small list, and then we'll do some requests here. So don't just I'll let you know when we open that up. So just remind me. Just want to drop some of these charts so everyone has them. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm pretty tall, but Tay's like super tall. So he makes me look short, which is crazy. I like RSI, and MACD is okay. I just don't like MACD because it's kind of a lagging indicator in my opinion, so you miss a lot of the move on it. RSI can be good for predicting reversals or for predicting tops. It's not always super accurate, but it is useful. So you got kind of a flat top here. I'm concerned with this volume here, so a couple things on this one. You know, volume's basically been dying this whole time, which is going to make a move. It looks like it's bullish. You know, you got kind of a cup here. It's forming. I filled the gap here, so it's good to go. Don't love the double top here, and it keeps rejecting off the 193-ish area. But if we do get over here, this could be a really nice move. So, you know, short term, you could probably catch a move on ADP up to the 197 to 198 area. So, you know, you'd probably be looking for something in this area. So that could be a nice target. What you want then to do is you want this to start picking up then with this breakout here. You do have earnings. You have earnings right here too, so could see an earnings run into this. Earnings are expected to be really good, so I'd expect this to be decently bullish. Tay tweeted a picture of me and him. No, Tay was in town to play the Bucks, and I live close to the stadium, so we met up. Yeah, he met my wife and daughter. We went out for breakfast. It was nice. We can probably get through these pretty quick. I think I have some of them already charted because I was looking at them for the newsletter. Yeah, he played a minute on Saturday. No, I didn't have time to go to the game. I'm not worried. He probably could have gotten me in, yeah. Me, Tay, and Thomas, we used to run a different Discord together, and we've met through trading, through different Discords, and we just kind of always got along really well and had the same visions and dreams, and, you know, we just... one thing led to another, a couple conversations here and there, and yeah, it's been a fun journey. So we're probably looking, yeah, this seems could be a nice bounce in WRPT up to 758. I mean, the story's probably a little longer than that, but I don't want to get into too many details right now. I want to get some charts done. Yeah, we got some real power behind TFC, and we got a lot of goats that linger in the server that I don't talk about, but it's pretty cool to see it come together. So this is filling the gap right here. So you can see it's just creating buyers and sellers, so it's creating volume in this area. So as soon as we get back over 1909, this should see a nice breakout here. Oh my god. Get out of here. Yeah, I'll take requests. I'm halfway through my list, so as soon as I get through this list, we'll do some requests for everyone. So don't just relax. And then when I say I'm open to request, I'm sure everyone will bombard the chat, which is fine. I'll try to get through the list then. So a lot of these, this one was interesting. I saw some really unusual call buying on it, and then when I popped open the chart, I was like, holy cow. Like, this thing took a beating. It's got major support where it's at right now, so and you can see these buy spikes right here are the biggest of all time. So people are buying this dip. This has major upside with lots of gaps. I don't know much about it. I just saw it pop up on my scanner, and the chart looks very interesting. I'm assuming they're tanking because last earnings they lost a F ton of money. You know, this is a very micro cap, so you know, this would be something to play with shares if you wanted to see this as a bounce. I don't even know if they have options. I'd have to look into it, but there are some gaps on this that would make it interesting. There's even one right here, so this would be, you know, $12 could be your first price target for a excuse me, let me see here. Let's go into the financials on this. They look atrocious. Oh yeah, this thing, I don't even know if I want to post this. This is terrible. This looks like they're going out of business. So their quick ratio is decent. It's not, I guess this is annual. Hold on. I mean, their assets are better, but their debt is extreme. I would definitely not go long term on this, but this could see a nice short term bounce. So to like $11.50. Bad financials. We'll post it as an idea. I'm not even gonna put a route on this. This is just an idea for you guys to look at. Just because I saw unusual call buying on it. Hey, thanks Winston. Appreciate it. Alright, so here's one that I thought was interesting. I know Fire, you were looking at this too, I think. The all-time chart on IQ, it's at that point right now where it's never gone below this. So if you ever wanted to go long on IQ, this might be the point to do it. You know, they got liquidated in the Archegos scandal, so they were a major holding, and you could see that on that day it went from 29 down to 14, and yeah, that's crazy. So then it had a dead cat bounce, made an H formation, and typically H formations aren't good, but as long as it holds the 1430 range, and if it breaks over this this downtrend, I could see a nice short-term bounce, and there's some good upside here. I mean, IQ is basically like a cheaper version of Netflix, but for China. So I mean, if it breaks this downtrend, you could see a nice bounce back up again to 1850 and kind of create some sideways action into earnings. I don't really anticipate it getting much higher than that until earnings. So I think earnings will play a tail. They'll have to probably blow out earnings, I imagine, but you could see a nice run up into earnings. I'm actually going to post a longer term chart here so people can see this. It's good to see the whole picture on this one specifically. so you can get an idea where we're at. Yeah, I plan on all these charts I'm doing, I'm going to go back and set breakout alerts on, so don't worry. If you're a standard subscriber, you'll get access to all these charts and breakout alerts. So Mile is another interesting one. So I just discovered them on Friday. They came up on my scanner. They charge insurance by the mile that you drive. So they like have technology that basically like hooks up to your car or something. I don't know I'd have to do some more research. All I saw was there was unusual call buying on them, and so it's worth looking into, considering they were $20 and now they're $7. So the financials don't look great. They actually look terrible. And that's probably why it's been tanking. And it makes a lot of sense, but these are those risk it for the biscuit plays, and their debt to assets isn't fantastic, but it's one of those things where, oh man, they even been, the revenue's pretty weak too. I don't know, it showed up on my scanner for unusual call buying, so this is like a real easy one. You just set the downtrend and you play like the bounce to $9. You play a quick one because you think it would at least retest this. So you break that, you play a quick one on it, because there's a lot of risk involved in a play like this where the financials are terrible. I think that's something you got to keep in mind, is there's got to be a reason why it's doing this, and you just gotta look into that. So Velo is another one that's popping up on my scanner a lot. I started charting this a little bit. It does have a double bottom right here, so it could make the Wu-Tang. So basically you see that it goes down, up, down, double bottom. So then, you're basically gonna do something like that. That would be my guess on that one. So this could be a nice one. What you're looking for is basically a breakout above 75 would be safe, and you could play that to 85, even to 80. If you really wanted to play aggressive, you could do 74. If they're talking energy starting to come back, so it had to take a cool off. So this is basically a reverse 1 through 5. So you got a flat to sharp, and then this will be your wave 5 right here. So it's okay to have flat to sharp, it's just less likely to happen. So you're looking flat, sharp, and then your wave 5 will probably be a nice wave 5. And this is because this is more affected by oil prices, and since oil prices came down, that's where you got that sharp on it. So oh yeah, you're right, thank you for that. Velo does have earnings this week too, so that'll be a big one. So what's that, Thursday you said? Could be a Wu-Tang. Could go straight up into earnings. That wouldn't surprise me. So you're really bullish. Earnings play would be that right there. I'll put both those in. AFA, 420 this week. Got a big gap. It's interesting. I heard Tilray just voted to have a 20% share dilution to raise capital. That's a little concerning because that'll affect AFA as well. So I still like weed this week, and I want to show you some things on this. So we're going to go back in time here. So 420 week of this. So here so here's the 420 week right here. Last year went from $2 to $3.50, almost a huge raise. And AFA, you know, it was a penny stock for a long time, but let's see. So that was 20. That was 2020, right? Yep, 2020. So 2019. They actually had their earnings this year, so that kind of screwed the 420 idea there. Was green on the day after 420 because it looks like that fell on a weekend, so that's something to be something to think about. 2018. Well, their earnings really don't do them any good on the weed weeks. So either way, I do think they just had their earnings last week, so wasn't terrible in terms of price movement. So we'll see what happens. Needs to break this downtrend. Not my favorite weed play this week. That's why I didn't put it in the newsletter. But I do think weed does something this week at least. Clove. So Clove is an interesting one. Basically, Clove has a giant short float percentage. You know, it's got a small market cap. Heavily shorted. Has some really good short squeeze percentage, and these green candles recently have been massive. So for me, if this gets back over $9, I think this could squeeze all the way to 14 possibly. So that's something to really watch this week. I didn't feel as super confident in it to put it in the newsletter this week, but I did still want to highlight it because there is a gap, you know, from $10 to $10.35. Well, technically, I guess it kind of starts around $9.90, but did wick it. You do have this nice scout wick here, all the way up to 10. So, you know, this might be a good lottery. It's got some potential there, and I think Wall Street Bets has been talking about it. So, very interested to see what happens with in that. Yeah, we'll set some squeeze alerts. When I see good squeeze potentials, I always set breakout alerts on them. So, you know, this could go all the way up here. This could have real fire squeeze potential. So if you see this starting to move this week, definitely take a lotto on it. And that's just I just like the stock. That's not actual investment advice. I like the stock. So they estimate that the short float percentage is actually much higher, Dan, because our bot that does that comes straight from FinViz, which gets it from the official reporting authority on NASDAQ, and that's only updated once a month. So they think this is actually, which would have been that statistic would have came out. That would have been right here. So it's probably shorted even more. So I know VIPS were in it. Update on that. Nothing's really changed here. I already got it charted. I'm a little concerned with it's creating a diamond here. So I'm going to watch this real big. I'm not going to be afraid to take a loss on this if it breaks down again. But we do have falling volume into a tip here, and this could be a bull pennant. So I'm on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. I like that it's holding this uptrend here, and it bounced twice, so we got a double bottom here. So I'm going to be curious, really watching this one close this week. This one could really run if the selling is done from this, because there's nothing wrong with VIPS. Like, it's a great company. Like, the financials are great. I mean, over the last 4 years, they went from 10 billion, 12 billion, 13, 15. So they're increasing every year. Quarterly, they just had their best quarter of 5.5 billion, and that's almost double their previous quarter. So they are banging, and China just had the GDP news where it was raised. Really excited here. Their asset sheet's good. Their book value's good. I don't know why they don't show their. Maybe it's because it's a China stock. They don't show the cash flow, but I was wrong on it. So so this has a PE ratio of 22. SPY has a PE ratio of 41, so it's half of what SPY is right now. It has a lot of room to run. Could easily go all the way back up to 40. I'm gonna play it safe though. I like the 34 range for the target, and that's what I want to see it at. That should be an easy couple 100% win, and we got time on it too. So if it doesn't happen this week, we'll look in options at rolling it out. But I still like this, and it still looks really good. So. These other ones we don't need to look at anymore. Alright, we could do a couple requests here. Raul wants to look at J&J. Why you want to look at J&J? Didn't J&J's vaccine get blood clots? I see what you're looking at. Sure, Kool-Aid King. Let me get through Raul's crest here. So if you're bullish on this, you could get an early entry on the downtrend break with a full entry over the yellow line, and then play that back up to 173. So, you're going to be, this is probably going to come down one more time. Then you could see something like this. Oh, come on. That could be your bullish count right there. Hey, thanks, Cali boy. I think, Winston, you had space you wanted? We'll do space, and then we'll do Apple, and then I'll go through the other ones here. I think space has been looking interesting lately. So space got crushed because, oh man, they've been getting crushed lately. So space got crushed because SpaceX won the contract, which, space could have won it too, but they did not. So that means, they're at good support here. I think there's a lot of long-term wants and dreams here. Space is one of my least favorite space exploration companies. They've had a lot of problems with their launches lately. But you could see a nice move up to fill this gap here. There are also a couple other gaps up here. So I don't think... I have to see the updated short float on space, because the reason why it went on a crazy here is 'cause space was heavily shorted. So I'm assuming it got shorted back down again. And so you should see some shorts covering here. So really what you're going to want to do is make sure it breaks out here. So you could play a nice 24 to 26.50 here, if you're bullish on it, and you do have falling volume, so it's going to do something here. Because if it breaks, it's probably going to come back down to like the 15 area. And in that area, in the 15 to 18 area, that's going to be a good go long target. Oh, thank you, buddy. So, yeah, it does have a head and shoulders too. So I would just play the quick small pop, and then it's probably gonna. This would be my guess. Yeah, it might make a. Oops. Might make a little mountain here into earnings, and then it'll make its decision on earnings, basically. So. Galley boy hitting me up. Appreciate it. Alright, let's do Apple. I think a lot of people want to see Apple, so you want me to look at it on the daily, you said? Alright, you want to look at it long term. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so it's pretty clear what's going on here. This has basically been a year-long consolidation. So Elliott waves looks pretty clear to me. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you're basically looking at a extended wave 4 right here, and you should see a nice another bull run possibly in the future here. Now it's gonna, I mean, you can't go wrong going long on Apple. They always go up for some reason. I mean, there's a reason they crush it. So you know that's your possibility. Major breakout level is going to be 139, so you could see some consolidation in here. I mean, if it gets, it's not too far off from 139 if you want to go long on it. And then your go long target's going to be probably about 190. Time wise, time-wise, you're right there for this wave. So then, that puts us there. Could say, I think, if it does go on another bull wave, let's go, yeah. Maybe by the end of the year, we'll see 192 on this. Let's check it out on the time waves on here. See if this time wave matches up. Yep, I like that. Let's go with that. So maybe by like November, you could see a run to 195 if we break out of this flat correction here. That could be pretty nice. And you're gonna see a full intra wave. So this is actually going to be a primary. So that'll look like that. We'll chart it out for you a little bit here. I think if people would like seeing this, so probably going to look at something like this. You know, maybe test all-time highs, and then come back down with a nice retracement. Then you'll see a nice bullish outbreak, and then probably a that, and then that's gonna, I hate when it does that. So that would be kind of your impulse wave there. I don't know if it's gonna go straight up like that, but you know, this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Could look something more like this. you know, it's already a $2.2 trillion company, so that would put it at like a $4 trillion valuation there. They would need to do some really big things for that to happen. But their valuation isn't crazy, so it could happen. It's all going to depend on if we did a correction this year or not. You could tell we're going to be looking towards that breakout also because Apple volume has been dropping like mad since last year. So Apple had some crazy volume in this run right here, but the volume's been dropping off. So we're looking more toppy everywhere. So what I'm going to be watching though is if it can't break out here, you could get a full rejection, and this could come down, and this could come down all the way to 95 potentially. So this is your bull count. Your bear count's kind of like this. I know that looks crazy, but you know, that's going to be something you could see right there. Like, it's going to go fast if it goes down, because the whole market's going to go down. Actually, hold on, let me redo this. It's not going to go straight down like that, so might go. Something. There's your 2 counts on Apple. Yeah, hold on, John. Raul, you just want the market to die. So basically what you're looking at here then, if Apple rejects here, it's making a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and this thing's going to tank. So if it's making a right shoulder here, if it can't break out above this older shoulder here, and the volume keeps dying, we're going to see some blood. So just keep that in mind. So, alright, C. Hopefully you don't have weeklies, but this is the daily. You know, this is a wave 4, so you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I mean, banks look interesting. So this filled the gap, and now it's establishing some buying power in here. So you got this gap, it's filled. I have a feeling it might come back down to 69 and retest this again. You know, I'm not trying to be biased or nothing. You know, typically you see an ABC, and sometimes it's even a 5-wave correction. So we might go sideways for a little bit in here. But if we look at the hourly, let's see if there's anything going on here. I have a feeling you're just going to get eaten up by theta. So, I mean, it's just been consolidating in here forever. As long as 72 holds, you're looking pretty good here. I mean, bank earnings were freaking phenomenal. So, that's something to keep in mind. And their guidance was good too. So, you do have a shot. Basically, you want it to get over 73. And over 73, you could print really hard. So basically, if it gets over 73, you could see it run back up to 76 again. If it breaks below 71.60, that's when you're going to see it go back down. So there's your bull versus bear. Clean it up. There you go. So over this line, you know, it's in that zone where it hasn't made a decision yet. So Foot 2, yeah, we'll look at. I like Foot 2. We'll look at Foot 2. Got a lot of requests here to get through, so I'm not going to do this super long, much longer. Been going about 50 minutes now, but so I do want to set some alerts here too. I put this chart in the Trusted Trader Ideas if you want to get it, so you don't lose it. All right. Got a lot of requests here. I'm gonna scroll back up and look through some of the comments and see what's been requested a bunch and try to do the popular ones here. So Gabriel, you don't have to say things like repeatedly over and over, by the way. Just an FYI. I will look at NNDM. I am interested in the ones that you posted though. So let's see here. Looks like I was wrong here. I thought it would curl up, but it broke down of the curl and rejected. So this thing has been going through a hard correction. Let's see here. It looks like it might want to come back down to 5. I mean, there's really no reason for it to be so high. They don't, until they post profits, you know, the financials are terrible. No revenue, and it's got pumped by Kathy Woods a lot, and it's forming, basically, it's got the Batman, double head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Right shoulder's got, it's got good volume on the way up and bad volume on the way down. It just hasn't been popular in a while. It needs something to push it. And so I'm not going to touch it for a while. I am interested in it because I think long term 3D printing keeps mooning. But there is a market for it, but they gotta get some sales here. Oh man, their sales are 2,400,000, 300,000, and they're losing 20 million a quarter. Like I don't even know if they could stay in business. This is bad. This is really bad. They do have good assets to liabilities, so that's good. But looks like they raised a lot of money recently. But they're burning cash a lot, so just keep that in mind. Let's do ACB because of weed this week. So it looks like it's got a falling wedge into a gap fill. I think we see a bounce this week. I really do. You know, I think a lot of people have been charting this as well, and they see the similar things. And you're basically seeing. There we go. So this should see a bounce. I think it may not be huge. You know, it may only be to say 850, but you know, that's a decent bounce there. Alright. AMC you wanted? I mean, just ping Genie in the server if you want an AMC chart. Or maybe you're just more curious to see what my AMC chart is. I get it. Interesting. Alright, let's see something here. So AMC's got this support line here that it's like gapping up and down below it. It's like it can't make a decision. It's really interesting. To be honest, like, not sure what's going to happen with this one. I don't have a good... I can't really get a good feel for it. Now, you got a cup reversal bottom, and you know, these waves are getting smaller and smaller, and the volume's getting less and less. I just think people... I just don't think people care as much anymore. I think, you know, this was the hype back here, and I think it's going to go all the way to the tip here. I think they're going to care what the next earnings are. So you could see potentially maybe something like this. I just don't expect it to do much. So that would probably be... I think it's just going to eat you up. I would be worried for it. So... I've had some requests for Futu and Intel. Let's do those. I know we had a bearish alert for Intel recently, but then Intel broke back up above it. So Intel is holding the uptrend, it looks like, pretty well. So that's what it really needs to break, is this uptrend right here. Intel kind of looks bullish, I would be honest. Yeah, you got inverse head and shoulders right here. Potentially cup reversal. So, I mean, you should see this go up here, and then it might consolidate here, and then from there it's either gonna do, you know, it should at least go back to 65.60, and I'm assuming it'll probably do this into earnings here. So if earnings are really good, which they should be freaking amazing, because everybody wants something. So they have earnings on Thursday this week. Yeah, it should chop into earnings. I would imagine to be a bullish chop. So, so this should. Yeah, you might see something like. Oops. What? God dang it. Excuse my French. That'd probably be what you're looking at going into earnings. And then from there, I mean, it in theory could gap all the way back up to 68 on earnings. Earnings could be a huge gap up there. So it's done it before on earnings. I mean, last earnings, what, it went all the way up and then came all the way down. So it likes to stay in the channel. So Intel is the king of gaps in the semiconductor business. Hold on 1 second, my wife's texting me. we're good. So yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see how earnings go on this. This could be a fun lotto on earnings if there's some good good action there. Yeah, Tatum, I'm gonna be gone the first half of the day tomorrow too. I might be back by the end of the day. All right, let's see here. If I don't get to your ticker, don't feel like I didn't want to. It's just I got a lot of requests here, and I'm gonna try to get to the more popular ones, or if I personally find them interesting. Walmart, I posted, it's on my Twitter. Walmart looks really good. I have a full count on this. Perfect Elliott wave, sharp to flat to gap fill on the 5. Perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. ABC's down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. ABC down. So this should be. I don't think it'll probably take a little longer. Probably like that, but yeah, this looks really good. You know, it's even following the intracycle waves on the blast zones or time or circle fibs. So I would say you know, mid-May 147, totally doable. So alright, let's see here. Yeah, I thought about getting back into Walmart. Yeah, I'm good, Callie. Don't worry about me. ATV looks really good. You got a nice sharp to flat here. This is a pretty long flat, or flat, you know. So basically what you're getting here is an A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 should fill the gap here. We are turning extremely bullish on video games. You got an A, B, C here, so we should break out. So A, B, C intra wave, and so you should see a 5th wave fill this gap then. Yeah, talk to Thomas on the coffee place, so I like the ideas for those. Alright, getting a lot of target requests here. Did I publish this? Alright, let's see here. Targets. Oh, I've had target. So, target, my projection was 211 on the breakout over 201. Looks like we're hitting that pretty good. Target this was a breakout alert for the newsletter or for standard subscribers. Looks like it gapped above my line, and now it's been developing buyers. Man, that has a nice flag right there too. So, it's pretty simple. This is either going to go up to 211, or it's going to come back down and retest 206. Depends on how it breaks up all the flag. So just play the flag and you'll have a direction. It's pretty simple. We might move our price target up a little bit though. Let's see here. We can move this up to 213. Hey, thank you guys for all the love, by the way. Like to think, these last 2 weeks weren't reminiscent of my overall trading abilities. I've been extremely busy, and I've forced some things I shouldn't have forced. But we're gonna get back on track, and really confident that today playing Doge, I think you could see we're gonna start doing the winning mentality again. Been seeing a lot of call hype on this, and I can see why. So I think Futu, let's see here, 1, 2. So basically got, a huge bull run. It's doing a wave. Let's see what the fibs say on this. So yeah, I mean, this would be the spot for it to go back up. Oh, sorry, this isn't Futu. This is Fuel Cell. So we're gonna do Futu next. I can see Fuel Cell bouncing here. Up towards the 13 area. Be curious. I mean, all the news is there. It's at the level it needs to bounce. If it doesn't bounce here, things are gonna get in murky waters. So let's look at Futu. Futu's starting my trade plan already. So I've had this marked for everyone in the standard plan. We're looking for a price target around 169 here. So 169, if we get through 169, then we can go all the way up to 202. It's going to take a little while, but Futu looks really good. Their earnings have been smashing off the charts. Every quarter has just been freaking amazing. So I like Futu. So I think they're gonna be all right, and we're kind of forming an inverse head and shoulders here. So I don't think SOS is gonna do anything. Yeah, Futu does move fast. I don't know why you guys like fake stocks. I mean, this thing's gonna go back to reality and probably go back down to $1 again. So it is at support, so if it breaks support, it's going back down. I think everybody thinks this is a fake stock, so nothing in their history would say that it's not. So, but play the chart. So if it breaks below 410, you can short it or just don't play it. And if it breaks the downtrend, I'm sure it could have a short-term pop. So I just never gonna touch it ever. So if you ask me about it, I'm probably gonna give you my same opinion every time. So just let you know, there's much better Bitcoin stocks out there. So well, I think that's gonna do it for me. I appreciate you guys all joining the class here. If you want to thank me for it, you can throw a like on there. Likes are free, so I always appreciate that. Otherwise, we're going to kill it this week, get back to some winning plays. Might do some bearish plays this week. I was trying to talk about that earlier in the call before I realized I was muted. But definitely might do some bearish plays this week. I know the newsletter was overall positive from me, but those are unique tickers and usually don't follow the market. So that's why I can be bullish on those. But the overall market should be coming up for a correction. It's been green for 14 days now, so it's going to need at least a couple red days to correct. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It was awesome meeting my business partner Tay this weekend, so it was a really good weekend for me. Had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to having some fun again. So thank you, and have